Hello, 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 hello. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Belo. I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. I'm a Khosi Football Club. And we are talking about Njabulo Ngcobo today. Is this the end of the road for him at Kaizer Chiefs? We'll talk about an article that has been published that basically talks about Njabulo Ngcobo and him leaving Kaizer Chiefs. So I want to hear your comments as well, Guti. What do you think about this news? I'll just get into it in a second, but I think for most of us, a lot of us is have seen this ukuthi this was never going to end well for Njabulo Ngcobo because he's not been playing a lot, and from Baxter to Zwane he's just not been given time to play. And so let me know in my comments, and as you are joining, either you're watching after the recording or you're watching live, make sure as you join also like the video, and also also as you are joining, join and like and leave a comment. Those are the two things that I ask from you. Just like the video, leave a comment. If you can't leave a comment, it's still okay. You can still like the video. Um news are Chiefs basically want to sell Njabulo Ngcobo because, as we know, Chiefs, Ngcobo still has one season left with the Chiefs. His contract basically expires in June 2024. So this 2023 season, he will still have 1 year remaining in his contract. So basically, Chiefs cannot say they can just they can't release him because they believe they can get something for him. And I would seriously think ukuthi Amayama team would think he's a quality player that they would want to sign. Like, even if you look at a team like Swallows, we just got Utitloke from them. Not Swallows, a super sport. So if you think about it, there are teams that can actually pay money for him. And Chiefs will be trying, obviously, to even get whatever that they can get from him, because if he has 1 year remaining, teams know they can just wait for 6 months and get him in January. So then that means whichever team that wants him in June will be in a good place to negotiate, because they will say, no, it's fine. If we'll just wait for next season to start. But still, that's still a year, because even if you sign him on a pre-contract next year, January, he will only join your team when his contract ends with Chiefs. So basically, Valley Chiefs will be trying to get him to sell him this June. But for Ngcobo, if I was him, for me this would be a perfect situation if I was him, because think about it. If you cannot play ahead of Ukwinik, because the article goes on to highlight things like one of the worries about Ngcobo with Chiefs is the fact that he makes some mistakes at the back. I'm like, but we have Ukwinika who makes more mistakes at the back. And apparently the worry with the management, Kizam Town June, apparently, according to the Sokala Duma report, they are saying he's the one who's going to make a decision. Their concern, I guess, when it comes to selling Njabulo Ngcobo is the fact that he is, how can I say this? He hasn't upgraded himself since he arrived at Chiefs. As such, they don't think they'll get too much money from him or for him. So because of that, they end up in a situation where they know what they will sell him if someone comes and wants to buy. But my thing is, I wonder, are they going to list him and say he's available he's for sale? Because again, as we know, my transfer negotiations, if you come out and you say, oh, the player is for sale, then you've basically made it easy for the team that's buying or the team that wants to buy to basically say, oh, okay, you're already desperate to sell. So that means we can give you however much that we want, uh, way lower than what you might expect, because we know that you are desperate to sell the player. So that means Tina, we can take advantage of you, whoever we are as buyers. So I think Chiefs are finding themselves, or they will find themselves in a very unique situation where they have to say, we want to sell this player, but at the same time, we don't want to get change for him. But I feel like, just like it happened with Akai last season, we transfer listed him, no one came to buy him. Obviously, there would be an argument, yoguti, no, but Akai Vela was not good quality enough, so that's a completely different story. So I cannot count him, right? So Indaba kaNgcobo is a bit different, because he's not a player who we can say is not quality and no team will want him, because off the top of my head, I can think of a few teams that can just want him. Like Twiddly Twatla or Royal AM could do with Njabulo Ngcobo. Stellenbosch, they are now transitioning to younger players. They are trying to make their squad more youthful, but there's nothing to, you can't say they won't want to buy an experienced player like Njabulo Ngcobo. You also have other teams that can seem smaller, but I'd see him going to like sort of the teams that are seen as bigger teams. Like Amazulu, Royal AM, he's probably gonna end up in KZ, and Amazulu, Royal AM, and then Super Sport. Those three teams can go for Ngcobo. We know Amazulu, they like former Chiefs players, and it would be a move that will make sense for him to go back to KZN. Please like the video, by the way. So I think mina bafethu, if we're being honest, on a personal level, on a player level, it's only fair for him to leave, because he's just sitting on the bench with Chiefs and he's doing nothing. And they never did justice to him. I will tell you now, Guti. If you are going to say one of the reasons why he's leaving Chiefs, or he will leave or will be sold, is because he makes mistakes. Hayi bo. Kushuthi phela we don't watch Kwinika when he plays, because kwayena uKwinika, he makes mistakes. I don't know whether in comparison, hayi man kuyafana, because I would say uNgcobo is too relaxed. That's why he ends up making mistakes. And then uKwinika just makes mistakes even when you are not expecting it. So then the question is, what's the difference? Because either way, they both make mistakes. So why are we going to side with one player over the other? You get me? Because it doesn't make sense to me. So then are we saying, oh, we're going to tolerate some mistake Kwinika because he's from a development, and we're not going to tolerate mistakes Njabulo Ngcobo for whatever reason? So if a publication, as Siakopoza said, they say that he's not in Zwane's plans, it's clear what is not in Zwane's plans, because he's not even being experimented with that much as a defensive midfield. So that shows Uguti he's not being tried there. He's not being played as a centre back, partner with Udove, to a point yokuthi uZwane, I know it was because of balance team ukuthi he had to go and bring back Austin Dube to play alongside Ungezana the other game, and he came and played ahead of Njabulo Ngcobo, which says a lot ukuthi the man is really not in Zwane's plans, and it's only fair for him Vele to leave, because he's not going to be playing for the Chiefs anytime soon. Subscribe to the channel. If there is a possibility that there's someone who's not subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. We are close to 7,000 subscribers now, so please do subscribe. Ukageso is saying, good evening, Khosi Awe. Usupose to say, Pilo Nation, Ola Apo Enamibia. Enamibia. Why uThenamipi? This is a map of Africa, was posted. And by the way, I'm wearing this jersey not because it's cold here. I'm wearing it because I'm underneath. I'm wearing a green T-shirt, so I didn't have time to change into something else. And wearing a green T-shirt while I'm using a green screen, I was just going to be transparent, so I had to wear something that's gonna cover that. So that's just the story behind the whole thing. Anyway, ubaba kaZenamiso says we need him. Why bengamnikanga game time? Well, it's one thing to say we need him, but it's another thing, Yoguti. Does the coach even think he needs him? Like, right? Because if the coach doesn't think he needs him, and it's clear, it's shown, like actions speak louder than words. If a player is not playing, if a player will get to a point where we playing or do the entire season to a point where we're playing continuously Ukwinika, although he makes mistakes just as much, if not more than Ngcobo himself. In fact, this season, how many mistakes has Ngcobo made? And then count how many mistakes Ukwinika has made. Obviously, someone who doesn't like Ngcobo might say, oh, but Ukwinika is making more mistakes because he's playing more. To which I would respond, uh, yeah, but then there's no way of knowing how many mistakes Njabulo Ngcobo would be making because he's not even being given that opportunity to make the mistakes. So indaba yakhe, it's like yena usevele nje kwathiwa no, you're not in my plan, or does he always make mistakes at practicing? I don't know, because basically that's what's happening at this point. Ukuthi a decision seems to have been made. Now they are just waiting for Kaizer Chiefs Jr. to make the final decision. Ukuthi he's basically selling him come end of the season, and the whole dynamic yoguti, and selling him, before I go back to the dynamic of how he's getting sold, is also to finance the other moves that eChiefs wants to make, which says to me eChiefs, side note, does not have money to finance ama signings ango-June. By the way, there are people who always get offended when I say Chiefs is broke. Umuntu aqhamuke sethi, yabona awuyazi into okhuluma ngayo, iChiefs, how can you say Chiefs is broke? Chiefs has sponsored. Ngithi welele, yazi inganekwane. Yazi inganekwane. As a guys, people getting offended with you saying Chiefs might be broke. Like, if the team is not broke, why are they not competing financially, even with Oseko Kut? And then people will come at me here and say, hey, what are you talking about? What do you mean Chiefs is not broke? They just not spending for the sake of spending. Ingane wana bantshela yona le ukuthi we're not spending because of we don't want to spend because of the sake of spending. All Pirates, they are playing. They are doing whatever they want here. I know they've signed more players than they need, but Tina, we've not signed as many players as we need. That's where it's at. You can't then say, hey, Pirates is just signing anyone for the sake of anything. Sundowns is signing everyone because they are jealous. But there are players that Chiefs has wanted that Sundowns did not even want, but Chiefs still didn't sign those players. So then you can't tell Muguti the team has money to sign players, but then they don't sign them. And it's not like there's someone who competes with them to get those players. So people should stop being emotional. And by the way, while we're here, while I'm just ranting a bit, I don't like this thing of people saying we shouldn't talk about this, we shouldn't talk about this. Because if you go to the description of the channel, it says this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. There is nothing that is off limits as long as we are respectful in whatever that we're saying. Do not tell me Uguti what we should and shouldn't talk about, because other people are interested in listening to those things that we talk about. Like, we can talk about anything and everything. Like, some people are saying, oh, though let's not assume Gutuzwan is not respected by the players. We did not say that was the case. We were saying, is it a possibility? Like, people should stop this thing, Yoguti. They don't want to question anything. They just want to accept everything that is given to them. That is why South African J, because awuthi ngiyeke ngikhuluma ngepolitics, because people just tell you this and then you believe it and you don't sit down and actually discuss and think about ukuthi how true is this thing, is this true or not. People just want to believe good no Chiefs inemali just because uBobby stood up one day and said, oh no, we don't want to sign players for the sake of signing players. Usho ukuthi nje Chiefs nje yona ayiboni ukuthi ayina defensive midfield. Guys, singaxhaphazani. People bayahlupha. But ke, let me just go back to the video now because sengibe ne-rent. So I'm saying Chiefs is also selling Njabulo Ngcobo because they want to get finances to finance the next move for another player. I don't know whether a defender or what, but they want to finance moves for other players. So sobona ukuthi kwenzakalani. Usposetu says not a good reason. Usposetu who says not a good reason to release him. We haven't given him enough time, especially this season. Last season most was played out of position. Yeah, but nakhona ezozadlala out of position, it's because he wasn't even preferred. Like, because if you think about it, Umatoho no Kados were played ahead of him, which was like a crime, right? It was just a crime. Would Matoho and Kados were played ahead of Ngcobo. And then this season, Udove has been our best player this season. Take out Bloom, Dove becomes our best player this season by far. And then it's understandable. But a partner yakhe, if you are saying Ngezana versus Ngcobo, I can get it because Ngezana will give you more. He will still make mistakes, but not as much as Ukwinik. And aerial balls, he will win more. He pays his bet. But when you put Kwinik, Njabulo Ngcobo, that's a completely different story, right? So that is why I'm saying kune trend vele with regards to Njabulo Ngcobo. Last season he wasn't playing, and when he was played out of positions because they couldn't find place for him at the back. Even at the back last season with Bucks, they never played him. Like, they never played him with even when they were playing a back three, because when they were playing a back three, at some point they played Umatoho, Ukadoso, Udubi. So they even didn't play him even in the back three. So that just says a lot. Is it just possible he could be making more mistakes that we don't know of? Asaz, but I still feel like we can't say he's making more mistakes than Ukwinik. But asikho training. That's the only benefit of the doubt I can give them, because whenever he has played, he always looks like he has a mistake in him because he's too relaxed. Hence, him being probably played in midfield. Now I'm changing tone because for the first half of the video I was kind of defending him. But is it possible also that he's just too relaxed to a point yokuthi vele they think it's too risky to play him as a defender? I don't know. Unathi says Olampilo Nation, awe Unathi. Simba saying all the best to him. Yeah, if he does leave shame, all the best. Specially says I feel bad for him because he never really got a chance to prove himself. Kaizer Chiefs ruined this guy, and that's the honest truth. And this hurts my feelings. Yazi namanje, as I'm saying ukuthi he is probably making a lot of mistakes. I'm just thinking ukuthi I don't remember like Njabulo Ngcobo being played for like 10 games in a row. I can check or transfer market goods. Was there a time in Njabulo Ngcobo's career at Kaizer Chiefs where he actually played 10 games in a row? Because then you can sort of judge and say, oh yeah, he has played 10 games in a row and it didn't work. As such, he ended up being benched. Because accept all, because if I look this season, if you look this season, you don't see anything like Uguti, where did he play in a row? There is nothing. There is nothing. So he played once with MTN 8 this season, played once with Nedbank Cup, DStv Premiership he played 7 times. So in total he's played 7 games, but nakhona kusikho ukuthi was starting and finishing. There were some games that he was starting, like I remember against Sundowns he started, but there were no games where he has literally played like the entire time, the entire game. So most of the times he's just sitting on the bench. He's just sitting on the bench, like on the bench, on the bench, on the bench, on the bench. Ama games awadlalayo, there are very few. This season ama games awadlalile, he played against Richards Bay. He played against Cape Town City. Just so happened, Richards Bay we won 1-0. Cape Town City we lost 2-0. We drew with Amazulu, we drew with Marumo Gallants, and then we Arrows he came on as a sub, so that's not a big deal. And then he also, yeah, Arrows he came on as a sub. So if you look at it, he hasn't played that much. Uguti, you can say, I know this guy has played 17 games straight and he hasn't done anything. Agukho, you can't say that because that just hasn't happened. So then assessment yakhe yokuthi uyaboza uzozidlisa may based on just the practice, yet abanye abantu be-underperformer when they are given an opportunity, then it seems like whatever assessment there is, it's not fair. Richard naye is saying the same thing ukuthi akanikwanga ithuba ugood lo mfana singazisoli ngelinye ilanga. Theo is saying we don't have to spend, that's a thing. Look, they want to promote young players instead of buying quality defenders. They want to underpay young players, that's all. Yabona nje, that's another thing which people will never want to admit when we say Chiefs, they are trying to, by all means, to not spend money. Like, because namanje, if they are trying to get money for Ngcobo so that they can finance other moves, that means they are trying to make sure ukuthi a player that they would have lost for free anyway next season, they release him this year or sell him this year so that they can take that money and then use it to buy someone else. Maybe they will end up not buying anyone because they've already signed with Ditlokwe on a free, right? Guys, please like the video. Hayibo, saze safika kuma views 150. Ama likes 7, guys. Hayibo. Just like the video. It's literally, how long does it take? Let me go to YouTube. Near YouTube. I get in on YouTube. And then here is Khosi Nation Live. It's showing. And then, look, 7 likes. Oh, where's the camera? There. Like the video. Now there are 8 likes. It's like that easy, guys. Please just like the video. It helps me reach more people. Thank you for those who have liked the video. So, Richard utakanika ngithuba, and as you are saying, when Theo, like Chiefs doesn't want to spend, they defeat you in all ways possible. They do, because vele if they promote to Aiden McCarthy, because they right now the younger players are practicing, should I say, with the older guys, because nakhona they are trying to identify which one can we promote and underpay. Let him play. Because nakhona ngoJune they will probably sell him, and there's a possibility that they might not even replace him. They saying, or the report is saying, they're doing this so that they can find a replacement or sign someone else. But I wouldn't be shocked. It wouldn't shock me at all if Chiefs ended up just not signing him. So ilento leni iyakoffenda mfethu as a Kaizer Chiefs fan ukuthi labantu laba they don't want to spend money at all. Uphumelele says Njabulo. Oh no, Unathi first. Unathi saying Zwane should just be honest. Ithuba elanele lokudlala. I wish angathola team ezomnika ithuba adlale kahle. I think it would fit quite well ku Royal AM mina. Mina vele I'm done with this thing of always umdlali masehamba ku-Chiefs sekumele simnyanye. No, I think if he goes to Royal AM, I hope he goes there and he just performs, or any other team really. Amazulu ukuthi nabo nje angingathi abana coach, but they are where they are. But I wish him ukuthi if he goes, he finds a team, he performs, because uh performing very well for his Swallows and then coming to Chiefs and then his career was just derailed. That's not cool. It's really not cool. Uphumelele sezunjabulo basuke bamncisha ithuba elanele lokudlala. Oh yeah, sengifundile. Sibongiseni says, I don't know what Zwane is doing. Look, if the players like Mashiane, he play once if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, well, one of the things that we'll have to admit is that there are coaches who just have their favorites at some point. We need to just admit that. Because coaches nabo bangabantu nje. They are people, like you watch a team like Liverpool. Klopp just likes playing with James Milner. Like you look at England, Gareth Southgate just likes Maguire. He will call Harry Maguire even if he hasn't played anything for United and pick him ahead of Ben White, because coaches just have their favorites at times. So I think we're in that situations where he's not probably favored that much by the coach because he doesn't prefer certain things or his style of play. So I think this thing is there. It's where it's at to he's just not the favorite as well. Cause no Mashiane, like I don't get how Mashiane are not playing, because now Vele or Mashiane will end up having the same conversation about them. Guti, they need to be loaned out or they need to be sold because it's talent that is being wasted. Take Mashiane today. Loan him to Igalans. Uzobona. Uzofika ashisa umdlali lapha because they will get game time. Like Chiefs, these young stars that are from development Chiefs, those are good players. They just need to be played. So I think it's a situation that we'll end up finding ourselves with most of the players that are at Chiefs, because we have a lot of players that we're not using. And in understand like I was a bit, I won't lie, I was like, oh my God, when they first signed, yo, okay, so what they can do. But if you remember, for those OGs, people who have been around here, when we did sign Umatlo, I questioned not equality. I questioned Uguti, why are we signing a player who has played like less than half of the minutes for the team that is coming from, right, in that season? So I questioned things like that, Uguti. Why was it happening? But Chiefs did it. They signed him anyways. So it's also like we just bring players, we accumulate them, and we don't have a plan with how we're going to even use them. And because of that, we end up just bringing in more and more players in the team. So it's a problem. It's a problem. I hate it when this thing is slow. 34 votes. Waiting for the next comment. By the way, please do like the video for those of you who haven't liked the video. Uzanovuyo says, greetings all Khosi fans. There is a difference between match fitness and there is physical fitness. If you do not have enough game time, and then it continues, you're bound to make mistakes. Exactly. Like it's called being rusty. It just happens. If you haven't done something in a long time, anything, it doesn't matter what it is, it shows that you are rusty and you can't do something that you were used to doing. So even in football players, you can't just expect ukuthi uzoba ne performance 10 out of 10 from a player who's not been playing, because some players will come in and will do just fine, but not all of them are like that. Terence Msiza says he must just go and shine somewhere and come back to haunt us. Imagine, he's not a striker. It would work if he was a striker, but he can still haunt us, come and score a header in a game against us. I can even go to Richards Bay as Umandla says, Khosi Nation, hope everyone is having a good evening and enjoying the show. I hope so. Simba says, if you hear someone talking like that, just know that he or she does not know football. I think you're talking about, I forgot to go to the comment was referring to what. Uh, and then Usbu says, yeah, alright, Mpilo. Every coach has his favorite. Mfethu. Ngisho ungenzani to prove to him. Ngeke kulunge if you compete ne-favorite player yakhe. Yeah, coaches, it's a reality. This people ngiyabona Ntokozo is saying favoritism will kill one. People forget ukuthi every coach, it doesn't matter which coach it is. Every coach just has their favorite player. Like they do. If you look at a team like even Man City right now, Guardiola Guayana, he has his own favorites. Like he always finds a way of playing with Gundogan. I know he's a good player, quality player. Gundogan is quality, quality, quality. But at times you just like how why is Foden not being played enough, right? You just like why is he not being played as much as you think he should be given a game time, but it doesn't play. Now he has this favorite boy who's playing as a left back, Louis, I think. Every coach has their favorite players. Every single coach. Uh, every coach. And then Uluyanda says, I saw Njabulo Ngcobo usindo emlenze. How? Uthi wes vele bengathi uboshwe emlenze uslowly futhi. But we can say the same with Ukwedik. Terence is saying, and they made a huge mistake by releasing Kieran Bakas. Ukupotso is saying releasing Bakas was the worst mistake ever. I wonder how much he would be helping the Chiefs. Nangokomunye ngezothi Gundogan sounds like Kundwan. But guys, I see ukuthi 35% of you are saying Chiefs made a good decision. 64% are saying it didn't make a good decision. So it shows once again good we are not always, there is a clear difference, but it's not like 80-20. So at the end of the day, once again, it's proof yoguthi we don't always necessarily agree as Chiefs fans. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Good match preview. And until next time, go check the videos that I posted. Until next time, though, Ikos, Alpelumoy.